Hello and welcome back to Substream News. Guys, I've been driving around the rubber forests of northern Thailand for an hour trying to find the perfect spot to record. I found this cool little abandoned house behind me. And at the end of here, the road stops. So I've had to turn around. And I just think this is a beautiful spot. Completely irrelevant to today's video. And first up today, I'm going to tell you about a new feature from Instagram. Before I do that, if you're not yet subscribed, why not? If you are subscribed, thank you. Right, let me tell you what's going on at IG Insta. Are you sick of algorithms? Actually, Instagram thinks you might be, because their new feature will allow you to, let's say, reset or wipe all of the recommended content being fed to you. Now, this is really interesting, and I think it's a cool feature. Essentially, yeah, it just takes all those people that you follow, things that you've liked, things you've watched, and just wipes it. It gives you a refresh, a reset. Now, this tool isn't available quite yet, so hold your horses, but it is coming soon. It's being tested. This is part of, let's say, a wider series of new features coming from Instagram and other major platforms that basically want to make you feel more safe. They want to protect young people, and they just want to improve user experience, as they should. Now, if you are an avid TikTok user, you may be familiar with this tool, because actually TikTok has something very similar where you can wipe your For You page and reset your algorithm. Now, the response to this change has been really good, and I think I actually would like to hit reset, because I see some absolute nonsense. And it's totally my own fault for watching rubbish. You might feel the same. Let me know in the comments. When the reset feature becomes available, are you gonna hit that button? Let's go find another place to record. It's beautiful here. Beautiful. Regular viewers here might remember that a few videos ago we had Siobhan and Adam Raff, and we covered this story about how Google kind of crushed their business through unfair sportsmanship, let's say, and Google recently were fined like 3 billion euros for it. It's a pretty big case. Well, now it's had a compounding effect, and Google is in the crosshairs of many jurisdictions. Now, one of them is the US Department of Justice. They are telling Google that they need to sell Google Chrome because the browser has a monopoly on the market, and it's not fair. Well, this is from District Court Judge Amit Mehta. He ruled in August that Google was an illegal monopoly for abusing its power over the search business. And, well, that ties back into the Siobhan and Adam Raff story. But this latest filing suggests that Google's ownership of Android and Chrome pose a significant challenge to apply remedies for making the search market competitive. Now, look, I can understand why the US would want to try and, let's say, break up Google's dominance, but I also think it's funny that it's illegal to be so good at doing your business, right? It's illegal for your business to be too good at its primary function. So Google is too good at being a search engine that nobody else can compete, and so they have to bring the courts in to break them up. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Is this not the free market? I just think that's a bit bizarre, but there's a balance. They want to protect consumers from monopolies. So I don't know. I don't know where I sit on this one. I'd love to hear in the comments. Do you think this is okay? Do you think it's right to break up Google's dominance? I'm really not sure. I'm going to have to chew this one over. Let me know. I really want to hear your thoughts. Meta's new Ray-Ban AI glasses are set to be rolled out in France, Italy, Ireland, and Spain. Now, if you're not familiar, yes, they are just like Ray-Ban eyeglasses or sunglasses, except they have a camera built in here. Don't worry, I'm not wearing them. They have a camera built in and voice recognition with AI capabilities. So if you say, hey, AI, what's the weather like today? Or something like that. And then it has a little speaker that can give you the information. Now, in some regions like the US, Canada, and Australia, you can actually ask the glasses to tell you about what you're looking at. So let's say you are at the Statue of Liberty. You can say, hey, glasses, tell me about the Statue of Liberty, and it will tell you. Now, unfortunately, due to complex EU data laws, they're not going to be able to do that in these 4 jurisdictions that they're about to enter. A reminder: France, Italy, Ireland, and Spain. Now, I do think these are really cool. They're not that cheap, but I mean, why not? If you've got the money and you want a bit of an AI assistant in your head without getting a brain chip, this might be the best option you've got right now. What do you think? If you've already got a pair or ever used a pair, let me know. I'd really like to know what your experience was. Right, let's move on. Yeah, I thought I'd stop here because it's pretty crazy. They're just like burning farm stuff. Guys, the next story is about Apple TV, and I'm not talking about the existing Apple TV, but the idea of Apple actually releasing its own television. Now, I don't really see it happening, and I will explain why at the end of this video. But as we reported recently, Apple is about to release a HomePod upgrade, which will have a screen double the size of a smartphone that can control all of your Apple devices and apps, which is a pretty cool idea. The move into having an Apple TV hardware, an actual television, will depend on the success of the HomePod, it is reported. At the moment, these are just suggestions. It's not official. Let's get this nice shot. I am on a main road. Sorry for the background noise. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think Apple should even bother? The interesting thing is Steve Jobs actually had this idea like more than a decade ago, and he squashed it. He said there's no market for it. There's not much point. Not much point in Apple producing a TV. 10 years later, hey, we've come full circle. Let's keep going. Now, this Apple news about the TV kind of ties into this next story. The 3.5mm jack was removed from the iPhones long ago and replaced with the iPhone Lightning adapter. And that Lightning port proved very popular for many years, but once again, it has been replaced, and now USB-C is the standard for new iPhones. Now, there was a time period after they removed the 3.5mm jack where they sold a Lightning to 3.5mm jack adapter. Now, this isn't big news, but that's now not in stock on any of their international stores. So basically not available anymore. So basically we're saying goodbye to, I guess, wired headphones and iPhones. There's not really much point in having them anymore. If you really love them, I'm sure you can find a new USB-C to 3.5mm jack adapter. My point is, technology evolves so fast, and we're creating all this e-waste, a huge metal, plastic, chemical problem. It's a total disaster. The responsibility of that falls on us, but really it should be placed on these tech companies to just change their hardware and adapters at will, really. And so, rest in peace to that adapter. We move forward. I really hope, really hope that iPhone and Apple and Samsung, they just stick with the USB-C. Same with all of their computers and tablets and everything. Let's just have one cable for all devices, please. Please, doesn't that just make things so much simpler and save the environment as well at the same time? Might just be that I'm out in nature that I'm thinking that way, but what a beautiful place it is. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, let's keep going and find another spot. I think my helmet hair is getting worse in every clip here, but let's move on to our penultimate story. It's about Microsoft Teams. Now, actually, I'm going to confess I've never used Microsoft Teams. I'm a Google Meet / sometimes Zoom kind of guy. But if you're a Microsoft Teams person and your company, your employer enforces that on you, the next story is one that might be quite interesting to you. Now, they're about to integrate an AI interpreter and translator into Microsoft Teams, and that will let each participant, let's say, speak or listen in a language of their choosing. Now, they can talk in their own native language, of course, and then Microsoft Teams is going to take that sound, translate it into the audio of choice for the listeners. Now, it's using real-time AI-powered speech-to-speech translation to simulate your speaking voice during meetings. So what's interesting here is it's also going to try and make it sound like you, even though it's going to be speaking in another language. Isn't that fascinating? I'd like to see this. It's not live yet. A preview will be available in early 2025. Sign me up. I want to see that video. I'm sure you do too. I'd love to see a demo. Now, apparently it's going to have 9 languages and the ability for the interpreter feature to simulate your personal voice, as we've explained. Now, Microsoft Teams will be rolling out loads of new AI features as they have invested billions into AI companies. So I think this one's really cool. Also, meeting transcription will soon support multilingual meetings for up to 31 languages. Now, that's for, I guess, for the transcript, the notes after the meeting. 31 languages. That's really impressive. Now, guys, let's go find a beautiful spot somewhere for the final clip of today's episode. Substreamers, I want to thank you for sticking with me in this video where I've changed location every clip. I've been wonky and sideways. I've been looking down on you. I didn't bring a tripod, so I've just been balancing the camera wherever I could. So thank you for your patience. Now we're at the final video. Congratulations, you've made it. Now, if you remember back to the Apple TV story, I said I just don't think it's going to happen. And I think that's because my generation are less interested in television. And now, for me, that was an anecdotal opinion, but there's now actually data to back it up. Now, I would say Apple TV would sell because Apple fanboys will buy anything. Now, if you love tech and you know about tech communities, you know that's true. But here's the data that supports my claim that young people just don't really care about television. We don't really watch on traditional televisions. We use our laptops, tablets, devices, but we don't really care for broadcast live TV very much. So the data found that 50% of 18 to 24-year-olds in the US don't watch TV. Broadcast, cable, satellite, not interested, half of them. As for 55 to 64-year-olds, just 29% of them don't watch traditional TV, so 71% still do. Now, of course, young people, like I said, are watching on streaming services like Netflix, Disney Plus, even YouTube, using different devices. Interestingly, I don't watch a lot of television, but when I do, I have a smart projector in my home, and that means that every time I want to watch something, it's a bit of an event. It's a bit cinematic. It makes me choose things more intentionally, things that are made for the big screen rather than just binge watching nonsense. So if you're looking for a way to watch more quality television, I think subconsciously a home projector is a good idea. Now, if we were selling home projectors or had an affiliate link, I would tell you that it's in the video description, but it's not. That's just my advice. What is in the video description, however, are the links to all of our stories and our sources, because as good journalists with integrity, I suppose, we should share our links. So if you want to read more about any of the stories covered in this video, you know where to go. While you're down there, click subscribe so that my sometimes handsome mug will show up on your feed now and again. Just a final note about Apple TVs. I feel that an Apple TV would squash or crush the gains they've made with the VR headset. And they really believe that the VR headset is the next generation of home theatre and consuming video content. So selling a TV would kind of affect or harm their own interests. That's my opinion. Anyway, that's it for this week's video. Thank you again. Wow, I've rambled on a lot, but you're still here if you've made it this far. I'll see you in next week's video. I'm Joseph. This is Substream News. Let's go. I'm not swimming though. I'm going to walk away. Bye bye.